Hello, team, and welcome to episode 25 of Creative English 2025. He said, she said. Team, today we have a doozy. Yes, I noticed some mistakes. It's a detail that some of my students were making this little mistake, and I want to go over it. And I thought the best way to do this would be to talk about reported speech. And I actually remember in school when we talked about reported speech. And well, I think the picture is worth more than 1,000 words. So this is kind of the face that the students made to teachers, like, eh. So it's a hard one even for natives. But we have one point I want to go over. We'll talk about reported speech, and we'll practice some HADs while we do it. At the same time, I'm going to introduce a little game where we're talking about how poor explanations can become some excellent English practice. So team, first off, can you guess these jobs? Strangers call me, I load them in a truck, sometimes briefly electrocute them, they thank me for my service. Too many people said bus drivers and Uber drivers. So I'm worried about what type of transportation these people are taking. But let me know. Number two. I bust through your front door, pow, and spray all your things down with water. You usually thank me afterward. No, it is not a gardener. I think you would call the police on your gardener if they did this. And number three is an easy one. I put different mixtures of liquids and give them to people. They give me money when my drinks make them feel funny. I would actually accept 2 answers for this one. But team, your first challenge, poorly explain what you do for work. And what do I mean by poorly? You're not going to lie, but I want you to describe it from a different angle. Team, reported speech. If I right now tell you what Patricia said earlier, and earlier she talked about going to the doctor the day before, what tense should I use? Yes, this is the face. This is the face. Well, this is reported speech. And what usually gets left out is this back shift. The idea is if I tell you what she said, I need to go into the past. I need to go into when she said it. And we need to take one step back, no matter what tense we use. And commonly, we will end up using everybody's favorite, the past perfect, the hads of this world. Let me give you some examples. So let's say that she said, I saw Mary. So I am reporting what she said. I have to say she said she had seen Mary because she said this in the past. She had seen Mary before this. My mom is here. He said his mom was there because it's not just the verbs. He said my, I have to say his. He said here, I have to say there. So a lot of words get changed. And here's a little list. This is the weirdest one. I think some word got left out of English because there's no way must became had to. May and might, we usually use them kind of for the same purpose. I would say that might makes you sound like a British lord, but in most cases they are used for the same things. And in this case, may, you have to go back into its preterite form, might. Now, one more thing. Usually, when people start studying English, they learn that in question, we need to flip that order. We put the auxiliary verb before the subject. But if I'm reporting a question, it is no longer a question. So it goes back to statement form. So, are you coming would become, he asked if I was coming. So the are before the you goes back to I before the was. WH question, same thing. Where do you live? He asked where I lived. Also, if you're talking about facts, truths, you don't need to make a back shift because the sun rises in the east and has risen in the east since the beginning of time. And, I missed a chance there. The sun has risen in the east since the dawn of time, pun intended. Now, some exercises for you to practice. These first 8 are related to this reported speech, and these last 2, 9 and 10, are about the detail that I mentioned before. So say, tell, speak, and talk. Similar words, but each of them follows a pattern. Can we alter this pattern? Sure, but it sounds a little awkward. And as a general rule, you say something. You tell somebody. She said whatever she said. See the quotation mark. She said, I'm tired. And you tell somebody. He told me, I told her, they told each other. So you tell somebody, a little bit gossipy. Last two, speak and talk. You can't, and this is a mistake I often hear, you can't talk something. You can't speak something. You can speak about, you can talk about something. But the only real practical difference is that if you're talking about language skills, like I speak English, I speak Portuguese, and you can't talk English, you can't talk Portuguese. That's the real difference. And besides that, if somebody says we need to talk, like, oh, I'm in trouble, and if we need to speak about this, it doesn't sound as bad. So talk kind of has that somebody's in trouble connotation. All right. So some questions for you to practice. And back to our activity, poor explanations. It's a fun activity you can use to get creative. It's actually our talking point, creativity. And a movie plot. Let me see. An orphan boy with a head trauma goes to school and gets into fights. I'll give you a clue. He's a wizard. Yes, Harry Potter. But you can do this about people go into a dark room and they yell and they sweat a lot and they leave their demons behind. Spinning. So you can do this for a lot of activities. It's just a fun way to get your creativity going, practice your English, and have a little fun with it. Why did I decide to talk about creativity? MIT published an article that said, oh, people can't remember what they wrote with ChatGPT. And it's like, come on, MIT, I expected more from you. Did AI help you write this? It's kind of obvious that if AI wrote it, that you will not remember it as well. And it seems like a pretty silly article. But I do think that there is something worth talking about, which is that the easier things get, you can argue that the less creative we get. And I think everybody is creative with something, whether it's communication in the kitchen, I wish I had one artistic skill. I can't draw, I can't dance, I can't sing, I can't play an instrument. So, those traditional creative areas, but I can make an English class. You can do that. Areas where you would like to be more creative. Like I said, I'd like one artistic skill, just one. But that's not my strong point. Now, how is creativity changing? We have a lot more range now. If you want to make a picture and you can't draw, AI can make you a picture. And we have access to a lot of really powerful tools. And if everybody has access to it and we're the ones pushing the buttons, but the AI is creating it, where is the creativity? It's something to discuss. I think there's a gray line there. What do you use AI to create? It helps me with my English class. When I have these fill in the blank style questions, I always ask for it to make me a bunch, and then I pick the ones that I like and edit them. But let me see. ChatGPT is making us less creative. I don't know. I will let you guys decide, but I think it is extending our range. That it is. I think social media is making us less creative because we see something and we just copy it, and then your favorite influencer just copies his favorite influencer and have that cycle. And that's actually the dead internet theory, that eventually the algorithms and the influencers, they'll just be one big circle copying and copying and copying and copying each other until the end of time. Team, I asked my students to explain what they do for work poorly. Here's mine. I stay at home, look into a camera, and get people to copy the noises I make. I'm an English teacher. But my other students have their versions of this. Try to guess what they do. Team, that's it. Like always, thank you, and I hope to see you in class. Have a good one.